Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War raid stream, week 30, day 7. So, today, we are going to be going and doing the last of our Gnome grind. It is, of course, still the Gnome event, still is for about, 5 or 6 more hours? Actually, due to the hour shift, how much time is that now? Let's see. Let me go double check the timer thingy. We have exactly 6 hours and 48 minutes. So yeah, technically we have a whole extra hour then, because this thing doesn't shift with the hour. So yeah, we have a whole extra hour, because now reset time is at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time rather than at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's a thing now. But anyways, so yeah, we still got a whole 7 hours on that. But anyways, in other news, 4.8 patch is this week. There's like a 99.9% chance it's happening this week, with the highest chance that it ends up happening tomorrow night, because the first event for the new patch is on the 16th. So they're definitely going to have the patch out prior to the 16th. Given that it's a Guild War week, the most likely day for them to do it is a Monday, because generally speaking, they try not to do it during a Guild Wars. That doesn't mean they wouldn't do it during a Guild War week, but generally speaking, they try not to do patches during it. And Monday would be the only day from now until when it should be out that is not a Guild War day. So it's the most likely day. However, Tuesday could also be the day of the patch. But regardless, we are guaranteed getting the patch pretty much this week. So we'll have that. We don't really get to experience the patch until the 16th, though, regardless of what day it comes out. Because a good majority of the effects that the patch has are only really take effect once the new game mode comes out, which is until the 16th. So it doesn't really matter too much what day it comes out on, because very, very little will change specifically on the day that it occurs. But anyways, other than that, we do have some things going on this week, or into this next week. So the main one, of course, is our Monday event. We're getting a new Broken Spire troop. Broken Spire, I believe, has a few good things to craft as well, as far as the weapon so far is concerned. But as far as the troop, it gets to drain up to 12 mana from an enemy, and then creates brown equal to the amount of mana drained. This is the exact same kind of premise as several other troops that are in the game, that just do a drain and then do mana based on it. These used to do a full mana drain and then do mana based on it, but they were all nerfed down to a 14 mana cost and having a cap of 12. Since then, all of these kind of troops have been relatively useless and pretty much never used, and this thing will be the exact same. It doesn't have Empower, doesn't have Fast, doesn't have really anything going for it. No good traits, and it's just not going to be used for anything. It's just I know, it's basically a weaker version of Cockatrice, essentially. Every single one of them has basically become a weaker version of Cockatrice, which is kind of funny, because Cockatrice ended up going from this, like, barely ever used troop to getting buffed to be absurd, and then got nerfed immediately. But even after they nerfed it after that buff, it's still been so meta that it hasn't not been meta since. But, yeah, all these troops, ever since they nerfed them, aren't really that good, so I wouldn't really bother with this thing. You can get it to collect up on red-purple. It is a, actually, never mind, it's only ultra rare. I thought it was epic, never mind. But, well, you can still stock up. Those cost 300 glory each rather than 200 each. But, yeah, you'd pretty much only get it for the trait stone, and just to have one, or to have it maxed for kingdom upgrading purposes. You don't really ever need to actually use it. However, the most relevant thing happening next week, other than the patch, that's probably happening on Monday or Tuesday, is the fact that we are getting one of the best hero classes in the game on this Friday. I've gone over this a couple times as far as how good this thing is, but it's pretty much going to be as versatile as Titan hero class, and even better than it in several situations. Overall, they're both going to be really good, and I do feel like Titan will overall be slightly better due to the fact that this doesn't naturally have a half mana start. However, everything that this has, which makes it rather unique, is 20% skull dodge. It has the most immunities of any hero class in the game, having immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire, mana burn, stun, poison, disease, death mark, devour, and potentially freeze as well. It has a +8 life that it can use, or a stun on hit, or a freeze on first turn. For its second perk, it can end up using the cleanse every single time it takes an extra turn, which is going to make it really, really good at never having any stats effects between all of its immunities, with the fact that it can just cleanse every extra turn. And if you needed to, instead you could set it to immune to freeze. For its third perk and fourth perk, it doesn't really have anything too relevant. However, for its fifth perk, it has barrier every single brown, which is obviously extremely relevant. It's one of the best traits, if not the best perk that any hero tree has in the entire game, being able to gain barrier every round. And what's kind of interesting is this is the first hero class in the game that's going to have barrier on brown with 20% dodge. This is relevant because if they were to take a skull and you end up dodging it, you'll end up not removing the barrier. So you'll still get to keep the barrier, which is going to be really, really, really useful since you'll be able to keep barrier more often. Unlike something like a Dragon Guard hero class, there's 40% score reduction. You would still, even though you get to reduce down skulls, it doesn't really matter since it will still end up breaking your barrier. Even if you had 100% score reduction, it would still break your barrier with 1 damage. However, if Agile triggers that 20%, you will not lose your barrier, which will be pretty interesting to see how that goes, as it's the first, I believe it's the first interaction really of it in the game. Obviously, you can barrier things that already have dodge-related skulls, but I believe this is the first thing in the game at all that has a natural capability of gaining barrier while also having dodge, which is a really strong combination. Other than that, one of the other really, really nice things that this thing has is it gains 3 mana every single time you take an extra turn. Doesn't matter what color you take it on. Any extra turn that you do off the board will end up triggering 3 additional mana for this hero class, meaning that you'll be able to cycle through your weapon very, very quick, especially on weapons that can accumulate extra turns. So if you can get 2 turns off of a weapon that costs like 12 mana cost or something, well, you just got half your mana back, not even counting what a kind of board control it might have done. So this is going to have a lot of potential with the amount of mana that it gains right back, and it'll probably be able to cast weapons pretty much quicker than anything else. It unfortunately does not have half mana start. However, you can fix that off of a half mana start with elves if you want to build a pure elf team. Wouldn't really advise that. However, it is technically possible to bring it to 50%, but otherwise you just put it at 20% with a metal and then just have it so it does good into the later in the game. It'll have a slower start than that of Titan, but it has a much quicker finish and a quicker cast cycle once it does get later into the game. And yeah, it's just overall going to be an insanely good hero class. And very versatile in that it can be run for a couple different roles. Biggest difference that this probably has between Titan is this is more cast-oriented, whereas Titan is more skull-oriented. Titan has things like enrage and attack gains, whereas this thing is more focused on mana accumulation and not being hit by stats effects. So this is definitely going to be a lot more cast-oriented, and even has things to protect it, like mana drain, immune to silence, stuff like that. Whereas Titan is going to be basically the skull variant of it. But yeah, this is basically the cast version of Titan, essentially, is the bottom line of what this troop is. And yeah, overall, going to have a lot of potential. And not troop, I mean hero class. And it's coming out this Friday. Also, I'm probably putting like 3,000 gems into that. So goodbye, gem stack. We'll be losing it all soon. But yeah, I'm going to probably max it as immediately as possible when it ends up coming out. But anyways, that's pretty much everything next week then. Tuesday, we're just going to have the Wild Court as far as faction. For Wednesday, we have that Infernus pet thing, which is pretty useless. I believe it's just Broken Spire bonus. And Thursday, we're just going to have, I believe, Warlord hero class. Oh, no, never mind. Thursday, we have none because we're getting a new one on Friday. So never mind, we have no event on Thursday. And then Friday's the new class. But anyways, it is still a Gnome event. Still is for another 6 hours and 41 minutes. Same as his flash offer, which is a pretty good flash offer. First time they ever offered a 3 vault key for $2. Pretty decent value. I'm personally not getting it. So far, we've gotten 6 naturally. A little bit lower than last time, but we'll still keep going on our grind. Stormcaller, getting progress. We're currently on 93 as far as Stormcaller is concerned. Looks like we probably won't get it all the way to 100 right now. However, I'm in no immediate rush to get it to 100. Even if we needed it for Guild Wars, we still have some time, so that shouldn't be an issue. Worst comes to worst, we can get it before whatever Guild War day we're going to use it for, which obviously would be yellow if we were to most likely bother using it. But anyways, hello everyone. Hope all of you have been doing good. Hello, Army X Tube. Hello, Bill. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Bill. Hello, Zex. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Brian. Hello, Tyranny. Hello, Remmerford. Hello. Yeah, we're at 100 gnomes. Have I missed the spoilers? Nope, I don't think so. There wasn't really any new cards, though. There was only just the one coming on Monday. We're getting a really few amount of cards next week. But at least we're getting the best hero class in the game, or one of the best. It's pretty much an alternate version of Titan. Let's see. Sentinel class is the tankiest hero class in the game. It's generally worse than Titan just because it wins slower, but it's good at not dying. It's the best hero class for not dying. It is 40% score reduction, barrier every brown, barrier chance on allies, and it's just really tanky. But it does have the most amount of barrier of any hero class, but it's not that quick, which is the biggest issue. There's nothing where it's really meta for running quickly. Its biggest purpose is to run delves in a way that you don't die. Particularly earlier on into mid-game, it's pretty good. When you don't have other tank options, it's one of your best options in the entire game for not dying. When you're doing like a Mang delve or something. Let's see. How poor do you have to be to not have cockatrice? It is possible. It's definitely possible to not have the troop. It is a rare though, so you can easily get it off of gold keys and glory keys. It's something you would likely get within like the first week of playing, most likely, or definitely in the first month. Just off of pure random drops. Also, hello T3, hello Dinosuit Girl, and hello Jamie, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Also, hello Alden. Let's see, we'll grab this for now. And then just kill it out. Also, I didn't do dailies yet. I should probably go do that. I don't think we had anything good today, though. Last I checked. Nope, it was just all small scraps. I guess we get an event key, but I don't really need more event keys. Some people might. We have way more event keys than we're ever going to need. And don't forget, Spoils of War in the Glory Shop. If you have a decent amount of Spirit Glory, and by a decent amount I mean like at least 10,000 or so, it is worth considering buying the 10 Spoils of War every single week. Actually, pretty much even earlier in the game than that, it might still even be worth it. Because you actually get a positive gem value. It's one of the few converts in the entire game which actually has a positive gem exchange as far as gem value, which is very rare, but that's why they made it limited. It used to not be limited in the past. But 180 glory is how much it costs, and 180 glory is worth 9 gem value, and a event key that you end up getting from that pack is 13 gem value, not to mention you get a few other things in it. But it's always worth going for it. There is a 10 limit per week, though, which is 1,800. But it's worth going for it pretty much every single week, assuming you have the Spirit Glory. It helps you get a small trickle of event keys if you're not getting it by too many other means. You can normally get enough from your guild and stuff like that, but if you don't end up reaching Legendary Task, or if you don't even end up getting the green tree done, you might not end up getting as many. So it's good to get a guarantee 10 per week off the glory. It's pretty easy these days to get 1,800 glory. During a vault event like right now, you can get that much glory in a single hour, so if you just grind a vault event for like 4 hours, you have enough glory to buy the pack for an entire month until the next vault event, pretty much. Take that for now. And speaking of event key, let's go get our one event key. Almost there. So Stormcaller should be getting a level soon. I did even double check to see what his base XP was at. I know I did some pet battles off stream though. And I'm pretty sure I was using Stormcaller for it, so it should be almost there. Because of course you can get a lot of pets during gnome events, since all gnomes have a higher chance of falling. And assuming your guild is doing any amount of PvP, you'll be able to get quite a bit more pet battles than you normally would be able to. Which I'm kind of surprised. We don't have one active right now, do we? I don't think as many people in my guild do PvP or Arena, which are the only two locations where they currently are. Unless they change that into the future. No, we do not. We might need to go change that. We might need to go grind some PvP and get one for the guild. But anyways, it's Diamond Day for what's it called? For the dungeons, of course. So definitely want to make sure to go claim all that and get our loot off of this. Let me go change the magic real quick, just so we get the quick one-shots. And come on, there we go. Okay, let's get into that, and let's go one-shot these real quick. Get our glorious diamonds, and always worth throwing 50 gems at this every single week. Even if you just started out in the game, it's still worth it. Mostly because 80 diamonds alone is worth it for the 50 gems, but you also end up getting 2 gem keys, which is worth 18 gems. You get a Celestial and a few other small loots. You're on 269 gnomes with 22 vault keys. That is a lot of gnomes. I think I did 117 last week. It looks like we're going to be on track to do about that much this week. I might actually do the exact same amount as last week, just to compare how many vault keys. Oh, there we go. I was just talking about pets. Thank you, someone from my guild, who just triggered a pet. I was gonna say, we've been getting it pretty much every single hour. I was kind of surprised I didn't see one. But there it is. This one I already have max, unfortunately. But yeah, this pack right here is always worth it. It's 50 gems. It's only on Sunday. But it's 50 gems for 80 diamonds, which that alone is already worth it. 400 shards, 500 souls, 2 gem keys. Which gives you like half the value back of the gems anyways. And a celestial. So ends up working out pretty nice. Always worth going for. Even though I don't even need diamonds anymore, I still go for it. It's because you never know if they might be useful for something into the future. Actually, how many mythics can I craft right now? We can craft 15 mythics with just the diamonds we have right there. And if I was to convert all of my jewels into shards, or all my shards into diamonds, we would have enough to craft, I believe, 17 mythics then. Because that would be around 6,000 diamonds right there. And then 6,000 into that would be enough to craft 2 more. That is a lot of mythics. But yeah, we can craft 17 mythics right now. That is a lot of mythic. Let's see. But yeah, that would be 5,930. And that into that would be 17. So can we get something new to use diamonds on? We must have 2 years worth of mythics as excess diamonds. Eventually. And I haven't been needing to craft any of the old weapons either because I already have all the old weapons. So while I'm switching to Stormcaller, I should probably see how much more EXP we need on him for his next level. There we go. I was going to say, he should be pretty close. But yeah, this pet battle will actually get him all the way to a level. Nice. Then we just need 6 more for him. So that means within 1 week, I'm going to have 3 level 100 hero classes. We did Hierophant the other day. We did Stormcaller probably tomorrow. Either tomorrow or Tuesday, somewhere around there. We'd have it to 100. And then this Friday, I'm getting a new hero class. So yeah, there's going to be 3 level 100s within a week. That's a lot of 100 hero classes. Because I will be rushing the new one immediately to max. Hello, Plus Play. Yeah, we have every pet in the game. So there isn't really much to show other than what would normally be under show all. Because we're not missing anything pet-wise. Actually, that's not true. We're missing the Android pet, but I'm not spending $50 on it. Maybe eventually. No time soon. Maybe if we've literally completed out every other possible thing. And we're like, let's just add this into completion. That's the only pet I'm missing. So did they ever fix the number? It should only show that we're missing 1. Huh. Still showing 3. Not sure why. Because more pets don't even exist at the moment. There's only 1 pet that we do not own. Theoretically 2 if it's counting the Xbox One, but I don't believe the PC mobile version does. Because it's impossible to get on this version of the game. And then there's some other one. That is, even if it is counting the Xbox One for whatever reason, there's some other random one that doesn't even exist that for whatever reason is counting. Which is strange. I'll probably be fixed as of next patch though. To actually display correctly. But yeah, next patch. I mentioned it earlier to stream. But it's probably tomorrow. No official dates, but tomorrow's the most likely day. And if not tomorrow, probably Tuesday. But tomorrow is the absolute most likely day for new patch, next patch. However, not much will change when the patch immediately comes out. It won't be particularly noticeable until next Monday. Next week's Monday, not tomorrow, Monday. How many mythical pets? I believe we're at 18 mythic pets. I can go double check though. Which it might be a little bit higher because we've been getting a lot of faction max pets. Quite a few of them haven't actually been bothering to upgrade though. Yeah, actually it is probably higher than 18 then. It's probably like 20 something. I can go to count it real quick though. You just have to do it by rarity and then count them up. However, I can have more than however number we have. Because I have enough food that we can go upgrade more of them if we really want to. Well, let me see. Let's do it based on rarity. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8 is 56, 55. I have 55. Wow, that's actually more than I thought. But we have 55 mythic pets. And we can actually get more than that if I was to actually level them. Because I actually have several of these ascended to mythic. However, it doesn't look like that because pets, unlike any other troop in the game, only go up in rarity when you actually feed them. So even though some of these things we can actually already have at mythic, they do not actually show a mythic border until we feed them. Yeah, we have 55 mythic pets. And that's out of how many? That's out of... so I have basically half of them maxed, essentially. Because we're at 55. So a little bit more than half. So it's probably closer to 2/3 if I was to use all my pet food on ones that I can max. I just like saving it in case one comes out that I might not have enough pet food for. Just to make sure when an important one comes around, we'll be able to immediately upgrade it. However, we don't tend to get important pets too often, though. Actually, when is the next pet? Now that we're talking about it, might as well go mention it. I'm already on the page anyways. Where's the pet section? The next new pet is for the next faction, which is the Deep Hive. However, the next actual pet for bonus is Damon bonus on April 1st. So on April Fool's Day, we're getting Damon bonus. And then we're getting a cosmetic pet for what seems to be Easter of this year. Yeah, Easter 2020. So we're getting that on April 8th. And that's bringing in a pretty cute bunny. A little flowery headpiece thing. Which I kind of like that pet. And then what's the next bonus we're getting? White Home bonus on April 29th. But nothing really particularly good as far as bonuses coming up. Actually, that's a lie. There is one coming in January 1st, but that's still a while from now. That's what, like 3 months from now. But January 1st... Oh, wait, never mind. That's not even... Never mind. That's not actually an official date. I was thinking June. But it does say January, but that's because it hasn't gotten an official date yet. So never mind. I was looking at the Zhejian one, and I was like, oh, Zhejian would be really good. But never mind. It doesn't have an official date. The furthest pet we know going forward at this current moment in time is April 29th's White Helm one. However, we probably will know further as of next patch, because normally the game files gets updated whenever the patch occurs, and normally we can see further ahead for the people that data mine the game. So we'll probably know that info soon. Oops, I should have used gold first. Whoops. Mistakes are made. Could have won a turn earlier. Now we don't have enough damage to break through, so I'm just going to take that skull and then key him. Since we did that weirdly. What do we need? Grab that. Get a thing over there. Tried for Sky Blue, didn't get it. And I got the one that was invisible sight, which wouldn't have given us extra turn. I'll take that for now, so we can get all this rolling. Get all over destroy. Then it's key to key and be good to go. As key team normally goes. Can you reach out to Salty and let her know US changed time? Still time to adjust the Monday dev stream. Oh yeah, wouldn't her stream be an hour off then? Compared to normal? Otherwise, wouldn't she be streaming the same time as me? Or something? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I believe she auto-adjusts, but I'm not sure if she does. I'll let her know while also letting her know, can I get more redeem codes? We'll see how that goes. Getting redeem codes from her feels like it takes like 2 weeks normally. Which is why I should probably ask now, because I have enough for about 2 more weeks of redeem codes. And I definitely want to ask before Animal Crossing comes out. Because once Animal Crossing comes out, that's like my life for the first week at least. If not longer. Let's see. We'll grab that for now. We'll get a, what do we need here? I'll take that for now. Grab that down. Thank you, Bill. Greatly appreciated. Oh, that didn't kill? Thought it would. Oh, there we go. Now he's dead. Okay, take that over. I'm actually not going to bother skull on that. And we'll probably just go to double key method at this point. Especially with him gaining durability like that. Come on, let me go. There we go. And he's dead. And that's that. Let's go get our crabbies. 2 copies with a bunch of foods. And obviously we already had them maxed. Anyways, let's go and get more leverage down and go hunt some of these gnomes because we haven't gotten a single one yet to stream. We haven't really been specifically targeting them much, but still, not a single one nonetheless. And I want to get to how many we got last time, which was, how many was it? We got 117 last time. So we're going to go until we have exactly 117, and then compare how many vault keys we got this time compared to last time. And last time I believe was 14. And right now we're only at 6. Which means we need to average a vault key every other gnome. Which is definitely possible. Though very unlikely. I mean, almost every other gnome would have to give us a vault key to match what we got last time around. Within the same amount of battles. Yeah, everything kind of shifted because of the hour change thing. It's also why the stream might be a little bit off if anyone's watching this outside the United States. But this is the normal time we'll be streaming now. It's still the same time if you're in the United States, but you know, it's slightly off if it's different time zone. If you didn't shift with the hour. There we go. Let's add that to our list of many gnomes. 101. Come on, Joel Gnome. You haven't given us a single good drop all this week. Please just give a Valky. Stop it with the 20s. We did not need those. She has given us diamonds 0 time, by the way. We have gotten her as a drop about 18 times. 0 times has she given us diamonds. We've gotten more diamonds cumulatively from every single normal gnome than we did from her. That's how bad she is for diamonds. We got 0 from her. And I'm pretty sure we hit about 30 or so diamonds off of normal gnome. Not to mention Cedric has a 50 diamond drop, so some of those Volkies that we got could have been 50 diamond drops. She's so bad for it, even though she's supposed to be the best method for accumulating it. As far as gnomes, yet she isn't. It's weird. They really need a buffer. They're probably just concerned about adding too many diamonds to the game. But it still makes no sense that normal gnome drops more overall than her. Even though its drops are only 2 and 5 compared to the Joel Gnome, which has 20 and 50. Her 20 and 50 are just so rare that it makes it almost non-existent. We went this entire weekend without getting it once. The 20 nor the 50. Yet this thing can drop 2 or 5 pretty consistently. Maybe he'll drop it to prove my point as well. Nope. 500 useless souls. Well, so this game has a lot of souls in it. Millions upon millions of lost souls. All accumulate together. To sit in our inventory to do nothing. I know, Bill. You already got honor maxed. You don't need any more honor. Honor becomes pointless once you have it maxed. Oh, so they have this hour shift at a different time. Interesting. The Queen of England needs her beauty sleep, so they wait. Great explanation for it. I still have a random package from England that has the Queen sticker on it. I ended up keeping it because it's the first time I ever actually got a package from there. I used to actually have a small stamp collection when I was younger. Didn't really stick with it though. Stamps are becoming pretty dated these days. Who even mails things anymore? Hey, and a gnome. Anything good in it? Nope, 5 gems. Well, that's technically good. Not his best drop, not his worst. Hello, Sam the Sham. Hey, Bill Warhammer got you from Global. Well, welcome to the stream. So we'll have redeem code at either first vault key or at 120 gnomes, whichever one comes first. Or sorry, not 120. I mean, I guess 115 because it's too short of our goal. Because I want to get 117 to match what we got last week, just to do a comparison in vault keys. And by last week, I mean last month, last vault event. And based on the rate of gnomes, it should only take us about another hour to get that many gnome kills. Though it can go a lot quicker if we get luckier. Or the inverse if we get unlucky. But I still feel somewhat off because of that hour shift. I feel like that always happens for at least a few days. Nothing feels normal until you get used to like the whole hour change thing. First day's always the worst though. Yep, there's our 2 diamonds. See, he's giving us more diamonds than the JoeGnome. JoeGnome has given us 0. And he has given us somewhere around 30 something. Not sure on the exact count. We've gotten 5 a couple times and we got 2 several times. Kill that out. Bill Warhammer sent you too. Hello, William. The double bill. I like how you have the icon horizontal on one end and vertical on the other. Oh, I was going to take that red extra turn, but I guess it doesn't matter. We already go over mana. Just always tempting to take every extra turn I see when I'm using an ability that will end our turn. But with Rowan on this team, you don't actually do that because if you have win condition, you just win. You don't need to do anything else. Hello, Jefferson. Oh, you saw Bill advertising the stream and you thought you'd come over? Thanks for that. Oh yeah, we stream every single day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stream Gems of War. We normally mess with dailies, guild-related events, and just going over stuff. Like the weekly spoilers we end up going over. Such as the really good hero class we're getting next Friday. Monk hero class is what we're going to be getting. It's going to be very similar to Titan hero class, except even better. It has 20% dodge, has barrier every brown, has the highest amount of immunities of any troop of any hero class in the game. Has cleanse on extra turn. It has 3 mana gain every single extra turn it does. So it has overall a lot of value out of it. It's pretty much going to be the cast-oriented version of Titan, whereas Titan's going to be more the skull-oriented version. But it looks like it has a lot of potential, and it's definitely going to be meta. It's the most relevant thing happening next week. Oh, and we're getting next patch next week. It's likely tomorrow or Tuesday. No official day has been given, though. But it has to be before the 16th, because the 16th is the first date of the new event that's going to be coming out. So it has to be done prior to then. Hello, Jose. What team am I using on the event? Which event? The guild-related event next week? Because next week is Guild Wars, isn't it? Or which event are you referring to? Friday's event? Friday's event is restricted to elves from Shentang. So it's likely going to be a Yagwe-focused team then. Most likely. Will that be a new class for Nintendo Switch as well? Yes, I have no clue which one Switch is getting, though. But yeah, Switch would also be getting one. But yeah, Switch is always several months behind. Which class they're getting, I don't know, but they should be getting a class on that day. I'm not aware of which one it is, though. Let's see. Yes, as Foro mentioned, it would help if everyone leaves a like on the stream. If you're interested, helps out a lot. But yeah, the Switch version is anywheres at any given moment in time. Like 6 to 9 months behind. If not an entire year on some things like pets. I'm not sure when they're ever going to finally get that thing caught up. If ever. Switch's updating policy is really weird compared to some of the other locations. It's one of the main reasons why it's so far behind. Yeah, all those honors are paying off. Any idea where Iron Gut's going to be on Soulforge? He's currently still in this cycle. He could be anywhere from tomorrow to like 2 weeks from, or 2 months from now. But he is still in this cycle. So that means it could be very soon. We just don't know exactly when. But yeah, it could be next week, could be the following week, could be about 7 weeks from now. It depends where it falls in the cycle, but he is definitely still within this cycle. We know which troops have already got out in this cycle. There's about 16 of them. However, of the rest that aren't already taken out, we don't know when specifically it'll be. Because it basically how it is it goes through every single mythic once, and then it cycles back again. And Iron Gut has not happened yet when it was going through each of them once, this current cycle. So it has a chance of happening. However, it takes a random 4 of the ones that haven't currently occurred. So we have no clue of knowing which one it's going to be. But we do know it's possible. There's like anywhere from like a 15 to 20% chance or so we get Iron Gut next week. Based on how many still are within the cycle. I'm not sure the exact math on it, but it's there's no way to really know for sure regardless. But we'll go over it on Monday. Once it happens. Soon, TM. You just got your first 4,000 diamonds. Don't have any mythics yet. Which do you think you should craft first? Iron Gut, Possessed King? Definitely not Possessed King. Possessed King, you tend to don't craft until like 10th or so. Mostly because you want to have damage sources as your initial options. Honestly, I'd probably say something like Infernus. It's very well-rounded and great for PvP and can be slotted into Guild Wars. Into up to mid-range, or up to mid-game and late-game. It's used for very few things in endgame. However, it's really great for progressing through the game. And one of the main reasons I mentioned Infernus again is Infernus is finally getting fixed again next patch. And yeah, like if you check the next patch notes, it'll be fixed. And the patch is coming in like another day or 2 or so. So it's going to be pretty relevant to get him again. Still always been decently relevant to get him. He's not meta for upscaling, but he's really great for most other aspects of the game. Aside from that, yes, Iron Gut would be a pretty good first craft. Roccirouva would be a pretty good first craft. Wild Queen, oddly enough, I feel like is increasingly becoming a pretty good early craft. Maybe not necessarily first, but depending on how you want to play, it could be. If you want a more scroll-oriented option. But depends what you really want to aim for. If you want to aim for delves, or being able to do higher level content, you normally go for Iron Gut. Gosh, the Jewel Gnome never gives it anything good. If you want to aim for PvP and Guild Wars, you'd probably go for something more so like Infernus. If you want to aim for souls, you go for Roccirouva. And Wild Queen would also similarly serve mostly for PvP and Guild Wars purposes. As well as Tower of Doom. Or at least the mid-range, up to mid-range of Tower of Doom. Could you get some advice for a Dervish Monster Werewolf team builder team? Wait, what? A Dervish Monster Werewolf team? Werewolf's a rather underwhelming troop. Like, it's okay. It can kind of be used as a tank moving back and forth. I wouldn't really advise it, though. You also have to keep in mind, whenever you transform a troop, all the stats that you gain from having any kind of perks, like gaining additional attack to it or whatever you do, end up getting lost. So if you're constantly transforming from werewolf to the peasant thing and then back and forth, it's going to keep losing all those stats that you end up giving to your monster. Let's see, we'll take that for now. So, hello, Lochnar, welcome. And no problem, Extreme One. If anyone else has any other questions, let me know. But yeah, Brian, I wouldn't really advise it. Dervish Hero class is overall pretty underwhelming class. There isn't any insanely good synergy for it currently. That could, of course, change into the future, but it's pretty doubtful. The only particularly good thing it has is the high skull dodge in the game. But that doesn't get it too far. Only 200 glory. That's still an okay drop nonetheless. Even though that's his worst drop. All the Glory Gnome drops are good. Even this worst drop is good. Where do you find the 4.8 patch notes? They currently are not public. There's a private one for the beta, but I can't post that. And they did a preview stream of it. I can give you a posted preview stream summary. Let me go get that. But there's no actual patch notes. It won't be posted until the patch comes out publicly. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not sure where it even is. I had a link to it earlier. Problem is I think I got off that page, so I'm not on it anymore. So that's a bit of a fail. Where's the streaming thing? If I type in stream, I know what thread it's in, if I could find where that thread is. Yeah, Gems of Streaming. It's in this thread. I forget who posted it, but it will be pretty obvious once I find the post. One moment. Somewhere's in all this mess. There it is. Also, thanks to Larian for posting this. And here's the post. But there you go. That link right there, the community Gems of War one, that leads to the Gems of War forum right there. That should lead exactly to the post that explains 4.8. Official patch notes will be up right prior to the patch, and we'll go over those then. But unfortunately, I can't share the beta patch notes because they're not the official ones that they're actually going to release once it comes out. But that's the only thing that we have public related to it. So where are all those gnomes hiding? We're getting a few there, but still need more. Which means 10 more, actually. I believe exactly 10 more. Right, because our main objective was to match the other counter. Oh, there's one. Yeah, it was to get 117. And now we need 9 more. Because that's another one right there. Boom, 108. Come on, one Volky. We'll hand out code at Volky, or when we hit 115. Whichever happens first. You know you want to give us a Volky, though. Nope, that is almost the exact opposite of one. Yeah, I know, I feel like I've been getting a lot more Jewel Gnomes this weekend. I believe total we're almost at 20. Which means about a fifth of our gnomes have been Jewel Gnomes. Despite the fact that there's like, what, 7 gnomes or something? Yet about a fifth of them have been Jewel this weekend. Actually, how many different gnomes are there now? See if I can remember them all off the top of my head. So there's the normal gnome. Pet gnome, but they don't appear here, so I can't actually count pet gnome. Even though it is one that exists. So yeah, I believe there is 7, but only 6 that appear. Because we can't count pet gnome because they don't actually appear here, even though they are a gnome. But it's Jewel gnome, normal gnome, soul gnome, glory gnome, ingot gnome. I forgot one. I know for sure I didn't mention one there. Let's see. What order? I should do it in order which they came out. So, normal gnome. Skip over pet gnome. Soul gnome. Glory gnome. Jewel gnome. Ingot gnome. But I feel like I'm forgetting one. So all the ones that just do the normal 3 drop things are Glory gnome, Soul gnome. Then there was the normal one. Jewel. Mech. I'm either forgetting one or there's only 6. With technically 5. I thought there were 7. Maybe I'm counting Valraven in that count. Or, you know, not in that count, but, you know, in thinking that there's 7. Okay, let's just double check. That'll bother me now. Where's Volt? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, duh, and I don't have Mech Gnome. Yeah. So that's probably what I was thinking. There are 7 of commons, which is probably the number I was thinking of when I was thinking 7. because Glory Gnome, Jewel Gnome, Pet Gnome, Soul Gnome, Treasure Gnome, Valraven, and the Mecha Gnome are all the 7 commons, so that's probably why I thought 7. However, there are 6 actual gnomes that appear: Glory Gnome, Jewel Gnome, Mech Gnome, Pet Gnome, Soul Gnome, and Treasure Gnome, and only 5 of them appear in Explore, which is Glory Gnome, Jewel Gnome, Mech Gnome, Soul Gnome, and Treasure Gnome. So yeah, there is only 5. So that makes sense why it's coming out to be about 1/5 of our drops. Now that makes more sense. I guess I was technically right when I said 7, kind of. But anyways. But yeah, there's only 5, technically. Well, it's 6 if you count Pet Gnome, but they don't appear here on Explorer. Yep, that's not the kingdom I want. That's also not the kingdom I want. Click on Zhejian. There we go. Oh yes, thank you, Defiant. I did get your donation. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not sure why. My notification thing hasn't been working properly lately. But thank you so much for the 2 $5 donations. Not sure if you want me to refund one of them because you sent it twice. But thank you a lot. Ends up helping out a great deal. This channel is pretty much half funded by donations for the most part, between Patreon and actual donations, so definitely helps out a lot. Because ad revenue definitely does not cover everything, especially since YouTube seems to be like increasingly skimpier on ad revenue, even for like similar amount of views. It's kind of weird. Let's see. Where's the gnome counter? There we go. 109. Oh, thank you for that, Defiant. Greatly appreciated. 2 diamonds. Well, there we go. Normal Gnome's still outdoing Jewel Gnome for number of diamonds this weekend. Unless Jewel Gnome's randomly going to give us a 50, we would have gotten more diamonds off of a normal Gnome than off a Jewel Gnome, which is how it always goes, because Jewel Gnome is so bad. They need to buff it. Why they haven't yet, I do not know. I honestly feel like Jewel Gnome was added just to rebalance Glory Gnome without nerfing Glory Gnome, because they made Glory Gnome too good. So then the next gnome they added was Jewel Gnome, which I feel like they made deliberately bad, just to balance out how good Glory Gnome is. That, or they really overestimate how much value a Jewel Gnome has. Or lack thereof. But even if we get a 20 diamond drop as our only 1 diamond drop from it, that would still be less diamonds overall than what we got from normal Gnome. Yeah, it's something they really need to rebalance whenever they get around to doing gnome rebalance. Like when they revamp Volkies. Our biggest concern is, of course, adding too many diamonds to the game. But the big issue recurrently is that it just doesn't even drop any diamonds. Or it feels like it never does, even though it does have 2 drops for it. Does this mean no more metal in Explore or what? No, metals will still be in Explore. Event medals convert to medals of seasons. This medal cannot be earned in Explore. No, medals will still be in Explore. However, a medal of seasons will be exclusive only to the new game mode. But no, you'll still be able to gain medals through all the means that you currently can right now. It's just a new medal is added, which is only going to be obtained through the new event that's coming out as of the 16th. And it's going to occur once every month. Basically, whenever invasions would have normally have occurred is when this new game mode's going to occur. Like right now we have our raids, the next week we have Guild War, and then the week after that, instead of having invasions, we have ourselves the new event. We still have a weekend invasion event though. Basically, as of next patch, invasion events are now a weekend event. And our first weekend invasion event is on the 20th. Same day Animal Crossing comes out. I will not forget that date. But yeah, on that Monday video, not this week, but the following week, we'll of course go over invasion teams on the Monday. We'll probably have a stream going over on that Friday too. Could be weird having a weekend invasion event. It should go pretty quick though, because we'll buy up to tier 3 to get whatever new weapon it gets, if it even gives us a new weapon, and then we probably get it done in one day, just off of tier 3. Because if every single person in my guild did tier 3, we'd easily get it done. They're making it so you don't need to do as many battles. So however many gems you spend into the event is going to be more effective than it was in the past. So if everyone in your guild bought tier 3 and you weren't completing all the rewards for invasions, there's a possibility you will be able to now. Because even though it's a shorter duration of only 3 days rather than 7 days, it is going to have less battles required in order to get full completion. Yes, pet gnomes are affected by the vault event. They are 3 times more likely to be found during a vault event. So if you were trying to farm for more pets, one of the best times that you do that is technically during a vault event, because the chance of getting gnomes is much higher during an event. And assuming a few people in your guild are hunting for them, you'd have one almost every single hour if you and a few other people were doing it in your guild, in PvP or arena. The only problem is it is PvP and arena only. They did not appear in Explore the pet gnomes. It's the only gnome that only appears in a really specific location. The easiest way to grind them is to do casual PvP on 1 trophies on the very first battle, and keep using your gold to repick into easy battles that you can easily one-shot, and then just keep cycling through battles like every 30 seconds or so. Yeah, I wish the weekly delve was a little bit longer. Hey, hero class level. Especially when doing pure faction. It is super annoying doing pure faction 500 for a Tuesday delve within a single day. Because it basically forces you to have to use rush method unless you have a lot of time on that day. Because to do every single battle up to 500 would take forever to do if you weren't to use rush method. I think it takes like 6 to 8 hours or so if you were to do no rush method. Though it varies based on the delve and what options you have to use. Well, with rush method you can get it done a lot quicker. The only problem is since it's a Tuesday only, you're basically forced to have to use rush method. Unless you pretty much have all day free. I don't think they would have it start on Monday, mostly because they want as few things happening on Monday as possible, so that not as many things can go wrong. Just so that Monday event video, not Monday event videos, but Monday event updates can go smoothly. Because they've had some issues with it in the past, but they've pretty much fixed it at this point within the game. But I still like having as minimal as possible on Monday. It's one of the reasons why Guild Wars doesn't even happen on Monday. Just in case anything was to go wrong. Why did I not take the extra turn? Whoops. We had full mana already. Could have killed him like a second quicker. But it makes a lot of sense if they did it Tuesday, Wednesday. Because the only thing you have going on Wednesday is pet. And pet's something that you have constantly going on regardless, to some capacity. Not sure if they would ever really do it, though. It's probably unlikely. Especially since that event is already won the best value of any event. The Tuesday faction event. For only 30 gems, you get to have 2 orbs and a Volky, among a few other loots. It's insanely good value. Normally each orb could cost you like hundreds of gems to get. Normally like 200 to 300. But for only 30 gems during that event, you can get 2 per week within a single day. Within like an hour for only 30 gems. Sometimes even for free, but normally you just throw it for 30 so it goes quicker. And because you normally need that extra sigil to finish out anyways. So might as well throw it out early just to get the enchant the entire time. Rather than realizing you're only like 1,000 short and then having to spend 30 right at the end without getting the speed increase of the potion. No problem, Lochner. Yeah, Yagway Queen of Tanya has been meta for a while. I still didn't cover the best 10 teams of last year video, but that was one of them I was going to mention. What was the reasoning behind mentioning it, though? I forget if it actually was. Was it? I still need to cover that video. I probably need to cover it tonight because I want to cover it before next patch. And next patch is possibly tomorrow. Did I actually mention it? I know it's been meta for a while. Might not have mentioned it, actually. Mostly because I don't think anything was new from it. I was just trying to mention teams that were new as of last year. Due to changes that were made. No, I didn't end up mentioning for it. But yeah, the team is... it's been meta for a couple years now. It's pretty much since Tapon came into the game. Which was like 2017 or 2018. But it's Flamerfur or Skia Crown if you don't own Flamerfur. Followed by Yagway, Tapon, Queen of Tanya. It uses 0 mythics. It has 1 of the high spell damages in the entire game. It has a lot of extra turn potential. It's been a really, really great team for a long while. And still is to this day. Yeah, Sky Hero also works. And her Skia Crown works for it if you don't have Flamerfur. There's a few different options you can go there. Pretty much as long as it creates red, it'll work for the most part. Will I be doing an updated mythic list, preferably with timestamps on our rating system? I'm not sure if I will. Maybe for 5.0. Because 5.0 will be one of the possibly really meta-changing patches. Because not many rankings have really shifted with mythics. With few exceptions, like Phoenicia going up. Like Phoenicia, I would almost say is like B+ or A these days, like B or A. I think last time I might have put it in like C, possibly even D actually. But these days it's like B at minimum. I would almost put it in A honestly, just because of how many things it could be used for. Because mythics are a bit weird in that, well, all troops are kind of like that, but particularly mythics, in that they tend to only be used in specific locations. So it's kind of hard to gauge a couple of them. For example, something like Iron Guts, not the greatest for things like PvP. So if you like were ranking on that, it'd be like C or like barely B. And then if you rank it for like factions, it would be like S. Like it would be, it changes a lot depending on what game mode. And you kind of just have to average its capabilities. Or if it happens to be insanely good in one location, then you just happen to rank it high. But Phoenicia is kind of a weird one in that you use it very rarely in such rare situations. However, in almost every situation you use her first, she's the most meta thing in the game. So there's a couple of them that are kind of weird to rank. Also, we haven't really gotten any excessively good mythics lately. We've got Vespera, and that's it. Like, what have we gotten in recent time that actually isn't completely useless? Vespera is like the only thing that comes to mind. Because a lot of mythics have been rather underwhelming lately. Case in point, the most recent mythic that came to the game. Will Anisha, still available until Friday reset. So until the end of Thursday if you still want to get it. Obviously not the greatest of mythics, however, if you don't have a mythic from Silverglade, it is worth considering to get. Because Silverglade is a magic kingdom, and she can be used to get 10 star on that kingdom if you are getting close to 10 starring it. So she is advised to get for that purpose, however actually using her is rather useless. Umanif was okay. The biggest issue with Umanif is there's troops that already do the role that are lower rarity. Mostly Web Spinner. Like, Web Spinner is almost a 1-to-1 replacement for Umanif in like 90% of situations. Very rarely is Umanif's unique skull spam thing actually better than Web Spinner's just really high damage output. But they both serve a very similar role. And Web Spinner normally does it better, oddly enough, even though it's lower rarity. Web Spinner just got absurdly buffed last year. They made it so it basically always does triple damage. Or nearly always. They made it into what Crimson Bat kind of used to be when traits first came out. How broken Bat kind of was. Actually, Bat has been meta a lot of times in the past. It's actually kind of interesting because he's not meta anymore. And I say that because for the first 3 years of the game, it was insanely meta. First, when the game first came out, it had a really, really broken ability. So broken that it wasn't even functioning correctly and it was giving it way more HP than it should have been. Then it was just a really great true damage option that was great at quick killing. Then when traits came out, it was the only thing in the game capable of doing 2 times damage to everything. Kind of like how Web Spinner can almost do 3 times damage to everything. And then it eventually fell out of meta. About a year and a half to 2 years ago. And then ever since it never came back. Which is interesting, because when the game first started, and for a lot of the earlier game history of this game, it was really, really good. And it didn't even really nerf it ever, for the most part. Like, they did some tweaks to it here and there. But, it just kind of fell out of meta, like some things do. Most things that are meta stay in meta, but that was one of the few instances that didn't. Mostly because true damage in general, in entirety, kind of fell out of meta. Very rarely do you actually use true damage teams in the current state of the game. There are still situations for it, but it's a lot rarer than it has ever pretty much been. What's the Phoenicia team I use for Explore 5? It is, why can I never remember off the top of my head? It's something in first slots. Phoenicia, Leprechaun, Mirage Queen. I guess just hero with anything? I'm pretty sure it's just hero with anything, just so you gain class XP. And when I say hero with anything, I mean any weapon, but you have to use Sun Spear hero class, or any hero class that has Red Storm. Yeah, I'm not sure what weapon I use with it. I guess it doesn't really matter, because you'd win automatically anyways. Like, it's not really an important part of the team. The important part is that you use any hero class that has Red Storm. You cast Leprechaun. You cascade into full mana Phoenicia. Mirage Queen gives a half mana start, and then boom, you win. But yeah, it's this team right here. But yeah, I don't believe weapon actually matters on that team. Let's see. Yeah, just do it with the Withering Staff. However, you could do it with pretty much any weapon in the game. Main reason I do it with the Withering Staff is it has no mana conflict with Phoenicia. So it can normally get full mana off a Leprechaun cast. And has a bit of split damage to clean up whatever Phoenicia doesn't kill. And has skulls, so even if they end up getting a full revive, you'll be able to go and end up getting the skulls to poke it down. But I just happen to use that. You cannot put Cedric there, unfortunately. You have to have Red Storm. Phoenicia needs Red Storm to do double damage. It's the whole gimmick that actually makes her viable. Red Storm is required. And the only consistent Red Storm you'd really want to have is Hero, so that you can go level up various hero classes. You can use any hero class that has a Red Storm start, or Sun Spear, which has Perpetual Red Storm. The only time you'd need Perpetual Red Storm with her, though, is if you're running it for pet battles. Whenever you have to double cast her ability, you would want to have Perpetual Red Storm. However, if you're doing a quick battle like this, where you only need one single cast, just having the initial Red Storm that only lasts for 4 turns is perfectly fine, because you'll easily win within 4 turns, normally within the first 2. Oops, I didn't mean to do that there, but it still works. Is there a weapon that summons a Firestorm? I don't think there's one that does that 100% chance. Actually, yes, there are a few. Like those staffs, those old staffs, those epic weapons. Doomed Crossbow, yeah, Doomed Crossbow has it too. Yeah, Doomed Crossbow is probably the most viable thing that has it. There's a few of them here and there. If you type it in and if they have it on ability, it'll show you all the ones that have it on ability. However, for whatever reason, there's still no way to check for perks. So if you try typing in words related to a perk, it will not actually come up when you type it into search. I'm not sure why they still have it like that. It'd be a nice quality of life upgrade. so that actually shows properly. Because right now you cannot search for any kind of perk thing. So for example, if you want to search for weapons that have that 20% instant kill perk, which I believe is currently 2, that one brown weapon and that drill weapon, there's no way to actually search for it, because if you search in the term that's related to it, it doesn't come up. Hopefully it'll change that into the future. Should you craft Phoenicia? Phoenicia is definitely not a first craft or anytime soon craft. She's probably around 10 to 15 in the current state of the game. Somewhere around there as far as priority order. It's definitely not excessively high priority. Mostly because in most situations, Rowain can do about 80% of what Phoenicia can. The main thing that Phoenicia shines for is quick kill on dungeons, but that only takes a few minutes anyways, so it's not really going to save you much time. Pet battles. However, there's plenty of other options. I personally go down the gold route, even though I own Phoenicia. And the quickest trophy rate in the entire game. But most people don't care about trophies. So Phoenicia is not necessarily a requirement at all. It's still a rather weaker... No, well, I don't know if weaker is the right term, but it's not the greatest of mythics, despite the fact that it's meta for some things. The only real relevant part about her is she has such a high impact full AoE. But there's a lot of instances it can be hard countered and should never be used for things like PvP or Guild Wars and stuff like that. Just because of how hard counterable she is. And she cannot upskill either. So it's really limited the content she can be used on. So I wouldn't really advise crafting her anytime soon. But yeah, just having Rowain can do almost everything she can. With the exceptions of high-level pet battles, dungeons, and... Well, actually, literally everything. I was just about to name literally everything she does. Fail. But they're the same premise of Troop, in that they both have a really high instant end turn deal damage to everything ability that's used on lower level to mid-range content. That cannot function really at higher level content. Though Rowain actually could with upscale, whereas Phoenicia cannot. What's the best staff weapon? They're all pretty much equally bad. I believe the yellow one was okay because I believe it had silence into Yellowstorm, if I'm not mistaken. Which was a decent combination, but all of them are pretty bad. I wouldn't really advise using any of them. They're pretty much just used for collectioning purposes. At no point have any of them really been used for anything. Oh, you're only missing like 10 mythics? Oh, if you're only missing like 10 mythics, then yeah, it's probably worth going for Phoenicia then. If you're at that point. I don't tend to use her that often though, even though she's good for a couple things. I feel like the best value you'd get out of her, oddly enough, is pet battles, even though I don't use her for that. And the main reason I say that is she can win pretty quick. She one-shots, I believe, the first 4 or 5. And then for the other ones, she could just double shot. And if you're using Sunspear 4, you'd have the Red Storm, even if the battle elongates a little bit. Which if you're double casting her, it likely would to some capacity. Oh, you meant staff as in the typing of staff. I thought you meant staff as in those staff weapons that are within Soulforge. But if you mean staffs in general, yeah, I believe Life and Death counts as staff. In which case it would be best staff, if that's what you meant. When you said staff, I thought you meant specifically the staffs that are craftable in Soulforge. Because there's like a staff line of weapons. There's like 3 staffs and 3 swords related weapons. That are those epic ones that you only get from Soulforge. At one point you could craft them whenever. However, ever since several months ago, they're only ever craftable during the event week of the kingdom. that they're associated to. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about Double Great King. I'm personally not a huge fan of him, though. But he does have a pretty decent ability. He's particularly good against things that use 3 or 4 of the same color. What about shields? Divine Protector is probably the best shield. Mostly because of how effective it is on Divine teams. Because it does a red-yellow spawn, which is really good for Divines. Particularly Skull Spam Divines because of Divine Ishpala. Which you'd need anyways to get your mana start for all your Divines. So you're not even going out of your way to set it onto your team. Yep, there's our pet again. Nice. We'll go for that in a little bit. I want to get our pet kills though. I mean, not our pet kills, our gnome kills. Also, if we get a vault key on 115, we'll hand out a big code instead of a normal code. However, we'll hand out a code of some amount, regardless. If it's not a vault key on 115, we'll hand out normal code, and if it is, we'll hand out big code. Sounds like a plan. But first, we need to find them. And our goal is to reach 117 gnome kills, just so we tie with last week. Yeah, Twitch does have some pretty decent emoticons. And a few really iconic ones like the Kappa. YouTube basically has no equivalency of that. Ugh. Gob Truffle Shuffle, Elemental Bow, 2 times Gob Truffle with Mirage Queen. Yeah, you can do it that way if you want. Would definitely end up working. I do that somewhat similarly for one of my Guild War days. Except obviously without double truffle because you can't use multiple when you're doing a Guild War defend. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're ever going to be getting an elemental hero class, though. The next 2 hero classes and the last 2 hero classes that we're getting, neither of them are elemental. Next one is elf, and the final one is, I believe, daemon again, even though we already have daemons, 2 daemons. Yep, 114. One more, and we'll hand out code. Or right now, if we get Volky off this guy. You know you want to do a Volky. That's not a Volky. But yeah, next gnome, we hand out code. Up, and if it's a Volky, we hand out big code. It looks like we found the cluster. Which means hopefully we get one straight to 117 then. Nope, no Volky. Aww. But we still give out code. Let's see, code time. Let me go get a normal code. I believe this one should walk. Put that there, refresh, put that right over there. Paste, copy, paste, here you guys go. Ah, there it is, there's a normal code. Used on gemsofwar.com with the game code section, or simply click that link. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says in bottom left underneath your settings is what you put in. Where it says invite code is what your invite code is. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste some random letters. of the UH and all that. And it gives the same reward as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And only works on the PC mobile version. There's our mail for it. So you might as well go claim it right now. Same thing as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. There you go. Enjoy, everyone. Yeah, I really wish we would get an elemental hero class. Elemental hero class has potential to be the strongest hero class in the entire game. Not to mention they'd almost guarantee give it Storm Tree. And that in combination with just with the fact that it counts as elemental will be insanely strong. But if they ever added elemental hero class, it would 100% have Storm Tree. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they haven't done it. Because elemental hero class would be absurdly strong in the current state of the game. Like, they would probably have to nerf Mirage Queen down to 40%. If they're going to follow down the Divine Ishbala route. I wish they would bring Divine Ishbala back to 50% though. It seems so weird seeing her at 40% when every other option like her is 50%. Doesn't make any sense at all to have one troop be different like that. However, if they were to ever do that again, they would totally do that to Mirage Queen if Elemental Hero class was released. Just because how broken that's going to be. Hopefully they don't though. But there we go, 117. And wow, our Vault Key amount is really bad this week compared to last week. If we get a Vault Key right now, we have exactly half less than last week. If we don't get one right now, it's less than half. And yeah, less than half. That is quite unfortunate. So as you can see, we're at 117 and 6. However, last time around, we ended up getting 117 and 14. Which is more than double. Which is quite unfortunate to say the least. But yeah, that's how it ended up coming out this time around. Which is a little disappointing, but oh well. I guess we'll go do the pet and then probably wrap up for the night then. So if anyone has any other questions, do let me know. Monday event phrase is raid phrase is Elemental Hero class. We can go spam Salty with that on Monday if I remember. Hello, Chad. Still haven't gotten gnomes, and probably you'll have to get a vault key from the Keymaster in the Matrix. They can be elusive sometimes. Easiest way to get more is just to win quicker, or you know, to do quick kill off of Explorer. How many vault keys have I saved up? I should have 155 exactly, and we are at 155. I know that because we started at 149 and we got in 6. Let's go do the pet and then wrap it up for the night. I believe I already have this pet maxed, but of course we just want it for the food. Actually, I don't normally show it. I should go do Phoenicia for all these battles. We do this first one real quick though, since we're already done. But I don't normally show Phoenicia for this, but it's pretty good. Let me go get Phoenicia out real quick. We won't be able to level up the hero class though. We'll be able to upgrade this other hero class. Yeah, let me show this with Phoenicia. Because it actually is pretty good for pet battles, even though I don't normally use it for such. Yeah, let me go change to magic as well. Obviously, if you have it, you should use it. There we go. And let's go show this with Phoenicia now. It's pretty strong. Okay. And I believe it goes to 5 or 6. Still being able to one-shot. Depends on your stats, of course. Haven't used it for pet battles for a while now. But it gets full AoE one-shot, obviously, for quite a while. Especially if they have no storm counter. I forget if there's any pet battle rooms that even have storm counter. As you can see, quickly gets kills. However, it doesn't get all that extra gold that we would normally be getting. Well, at least gets still some amount off a Leprechaun, if nothing else. But this is one of the other big purposes that Phoenicia has, even though I don't really use it for such. It's to pretty much quick kill, instant kill these pet battles. And yeah, I believe she kills up to 5 with one shot. Might only be up to 4, actually. We'll see in a second. I'll take that for now. I can almost do 5. Not quite. Now it definitely won't one-shot. So now you'd want to switch to Sun Spear if you weren't already using it. Just because we're going to need a Storm to last longer than 4 turns. We don't get class XP for this anymore since I've already maxed it, but oh well. Normally you would just use Sun Spear the whole time. And I believe it still maintains 2 cast on Final Battle. Though of course it does depend on what your stats are. Oh, that's not the way I wanted to take it. Okay, and Final Battle. Okay, it actually does not have enough damage currently to do Final Battle. So I guess it depends on what battle you have for the final one, because I do recall it being able to do it occasionally. I guess it depends what their stats are. Yeah, it's only a few short of being able to do so. It also depends on how many reds are on the board, too. That might be the other factor. Because she is boost ratioing off the reds on board. So that's a factor of how much damage she does. And that can vary enough that it does or does not get the kill. Well, there we go. Yeah, it's decently quick. It's one of the other things she's really used for. Even though I personally don't use her for that often. Let's see. Answer that. Cheap level 12 Explorer team. Cheapest team that you could probably do is, if you have double Cedric, you can do Skeleton Key team. You can do Egg Thief, Skeleton Key with double Cedric. Or sorry, double Cedric, Skeleton Key with Egg Thief. In that order. Would end up working out pretty well. Actually, sorry, not that order. Double Cedric, Egg Thief, and then Skeleton Key in that order. Would be a pretty decent one. Other than that, you can use Arskaeus Shield into Rowain, which ends up working out pretty well. And that can end up taking it out. Because Rowain you get for free from completing a Farce of Thorns. And Arskaeus Shield you get for free from completing Arskaea. How do you get Honor? Honor as in those things that upgrade your profile thingy? You get it within Global for the most part. You can pretty much just ask, hey, can I get some Honor in Global? And just hope you kindly get some over time. But you're referring to like this thing, right? The this thing right here, the Honor. Well, I assume so. That's what it's called. But yeah, you kind of just get it slowly through Global. It's like the easiest way. Or even ask your guild. It's less effective if you give it to people in your guild. But it still gives credit towards it nonetheless. Also, why is this taking so long to load? Load! It literally just loaded it seconds ago. Why is it taking so long to do it again? Come on, game. Just want to give out an honor. Let me give honor. Did we just freeze the game somehow? Why is it not loading? Game! There we go. An honor has been given. How do you generate gold with greed? Or without greed? Leprechaun does it pretty well. Egg Thief Loop does it pretty well. There's a few other options out there. I feel like Egg Thief's like the main other option that isn't greed that ends up doing it pretty well. Leprechaun generally does not max out gold. You'll get some amount of gold from a Leprechaun, but more often than not, you will not max gold when using just Leprechaun as your gold gainer. It's still a nice small amount of gold though, regardless, but it's not going to give you max, ever. Unless you're deliberately elongating the battle, which generally you wouldn't want to do. Just for that small amount of gold. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, we'll be probably heading out for tonight. We'll be back, though, tomorrow, same time as always. Hour and a half prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Time did shift by an hour. Other than that, we'll be covering the event video tomorrow, going over everything with the next event week. Keep in mind, patch is probably also going to be tomorrow, probably later tomorrow at some point, probably around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or so, or sometime around that general time, though no official date has been given, so it might not be tomorrow. Could be on Tuesday. However, it's almost guaranteed to be prior to 16th, because 16th is currently planned to be the new event system for Groshnock. So we should be getting that then. Let's see. It feels nice to have the streams earlier. Yeah, honestly, I actually prefer this kind of timing compared to before. It also works better for reset because it's right at 3 a.m. So it's better if I was to just sleep in rather than staying up. Because when it's at 2 a.m., I feel like I should just stay up and then record it. But at 3 a.m., I feel like I could just go to bed earlier, like in about an hour or two, sleep in a little bit, and then just kind of get around to it. Because it basically gives me almost like a whole extra hour to do the event thing. Because it normally falls right in the middle of the night where I wouldn't want to do it right in the middle of the night. So technically that gives me a whole extra hour. So it ends up working out quite conveniently for Monday event videos to get them out more consistently on time. Because it doesn't seem as late since it's a whole hour shifted with the when the event actually resets. But anyways, guys, anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'll be heading out for now. And yeah, next video we'll have up will be the event video then. And I should be able to get the top 10 teams of last year video up soon. All 10 of which I'll mention are still all meta to this day. And most of them I still use, as you can see by me still going all the way down in that menu to go to them, like the Phoenicia team and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys soon in version 4.8, because there's a good chance we're getting in the next 2 days, though, again, not official, but it's very, very soon TM, nonetheless. But anyways, guys, catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by, and have a wonderful week, everyone. Goodbye, and best of luck if you're still going to be doing the Gnome event. You still got 5 hours and 16 minutes, so enjoy if you're still going to go for that. Goodbye, everyone.